I'm only human, y'all.
Okay, we got to discuss this, okay, because this is the real deal. I know where Mike Lee is going to come down with this, Alex, already.
Yes, sir.
So, maybe we ought to start the discussion with me, you, and Jay, because I know what Mike Lee is going to say.
I'll reserve mine for last.
Okay, we'll reserve
Set up the
Mike
story,
Lee.
Ken. Set up the story.
T.I. Suicide
Tip.
or stunt? That's the question. T.I. is not, what we got to ask is, T.I. pulled out his cape. He pulled out his cape. Yeah, that's right. He just so happened to pull it out the day before he had court.
Court's on Friday.
Court's on Friday. Okay,
Yes.
2 days before he had court. I got Jay. I'm gonna let you tell the story because I'm gonna agree with Mike on this. I'm gonna tell you that before we get out. But I'll let you tell what happened.
All right. Allegedly, or apparently, I should say, T.I. he said he was backing out the driveway. He was listening to the radio, to one of the popular radio stations in Atlanta, and they were reporting that a gentleman was on top of the building where the actual station is at, and he was apparently he laughing, but apparently he was going to commit suicide, or was threatened that he was going to commit suicide.
You could say coincidentally, but you'd have to say it 20 times while you're reporting this stuff. But anyway,
yeah. And then T.I. went to the location and asked if he could speak to the gentleman, and they talked to the negotiator, and they asked the gentleman. They say, "Hey, T.I. is here. He wants to talk to you." And the guy was
he said, "That's my favorite rapper."
No. Okay. Apparently, what happened was the guy didn't believe them. Okay. So T.I. got his phone and he recorded himself. Say, "Hey, man, it's gonna be all right. I just want to talk to you for a few minutes." And they sent that up, and that's how he got to talk to the gentleman.
And then
they got him down, and he talked to T.I. for 5 minutes before they took him to the hospital.
Well, T.I. The story was that T.I. helped talk the guy down.
No, he actually did not go up there and say, "Hey, man," he didn't. He really didn't go through that. He sent a video of himself and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you." When they brought him down, he talked to T.I. for about 5 minutes before they took him on to the hospital.
All right,
that's the official story.
Mike, we said we're gonna get to you last.
I know it's.
I got to hear from Alex.
Actually, I'm probably going to want to respond to something that Mike Lee has to say. So I prefer if you went to.
Do I think it was a stunt? How about that? I'm going to step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate first.
You tell him, Jay.
I do not think it was a stunt.
Okay.
I mean, you got to have a reason for that.
Yeah.
Now,
that's his boy. We already know. Jay used to live in Atlanta. He hung out with them guys.
I'm not jaded to the point that I feel like someone is doing something intentionally or going through all this effort to make amends or shape their image in the public. I just don't feel like people are they're doing that much. Yeah. Some people feel like, hey, every time something happens, they feel like maybe there's a little shadiness there. I'm just not one of those people.
Well, let me give some more facts here because I want to use this magic word that I brought up earlier.
Okay.
Coincidentally. Okay.
Counselor Harris.
No, it's all coincidence. Now, I'm not trying to insinuate anything. By coincidence, T.I. hears this on the radio, right?
Yes.
By coincidence, it's a station somehow T.I. is familiar with?
Yeah, it's probably the most popular radio station in Atlanta.
Okay, and by coincidence, this guy who's going to jump,
is at the top of that very building.
Mm-hmm. And by coincidence, he is very familiar with T.I., right?
I mean, T.I.'s in Atlanta, man. T.I. Get off of that, Jay. Come on with the right.
Okay. And
I would think he does know who T.I. is.
By coincidence, let's say, not all of these rescues work out. By coincidence, T.I. being there somehow helped save this guy. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean,
yes, I would say
be for real. I mean, sometimes people do jump.
Yeah.
This time he didn't because T.I.'s in the parking lot.
That was a part of it.
Okay, all right. That's and then the last one is by coincidence it's 2 days before T.I.'s court date.
Okay, now
that's a lot of stuff now.
May I redirect?
Yeah, you can redirect. Go ahead. Yeah.
We think that T.I. had someone go up to the top of a building, put themselves on display for the whole city of Atlanta to pull fire trucks and policemen and all these people and shut down the whole Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And then after they get him down, this guy has to go to the medical facility or mental health facility, stay there for a few days for a tip.
Yeah, let me say something.
And but Mike, let you go and get to. I know you ready, man.
I know.
He's fired up. I'm ready to give you this, but I've been to Atlanta a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, been to Atlanta a couple times.
Time or two.
Mike, let me just tell you this. This is the other thing. There are a lot of buildings in Atlanta, man. I mean, there's a lot to select from. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to. I'm gonna need to know a little bit more about his selection process.
This was a 20-story building.
Okay, there are a lot of 20-story buildings in Atlanta or higher.
That's true.
And generally, and I know Mike is gonna get on some of this. If you gonna kill yourself, Atlanta is some 40 stories, and it's just a lot of buildings in Atlanta. I mean, but Mike, go ahead and maybe it's all coincidence.
Let me tell you something. First off, Jelani says, do you think that he's gonna lock down Peachtree, have the fire department out there, the police department out there, and all these people? He do that all the time when he do a show. You have the street locked down wherever he perform at.
I was talking about
let me finish, sir. Let me finish.
I want to make sure you're talking about the right thing. I'm talking about the 24-year-old gentleman, not T.I.
With attorney Ken Harris, and he's giving me the right to speak.
And I'm just letting you know that's what I'm talking about.
You can address the bench when I'm done.
Okay,
all I'm
simply
saying is that that's nothing. Let me tell you, this was an event orchestrated by Clifford Harris. Okay?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Now, allegedly orchestrated by Mr. Clifford Harris. He just happened to be, by the way, Clifford Harris, a.k.a. PKA T.I., Tip, etc., happened to be backing out of his driveway in his car, turn on Atlanta radio. He's on his way to a video shoot. Let's get the facts straight. He's on his way to a video shoot. Video shoot probably 100,000 or more. This is Tip. This ain't your boy on the block. This the big fella. Okay? He happens to be, he pulls out his Superman cape. I'm going over to rescue this guy because I feel the need. Okay? Come on, man. Look, we just talked about Fantasia. We just talked about Kanye West. We're talking about Tip today. This is the Birdman, you are no longer the number one stunner. The number one stunt man in the game. T.I. He wins, hands down.